Welcome, everybody, to another Sunday with a real talk with Aaron, the fabulous, and Alex, the marvelous. Today, we're going to talk about the age of consent. Why did this come up is because the latest news is about Josh Giddey, a NBA player from Australia, where, of course, the age of consent is a little bit different than it is in North America. Well, I mean, North America has age of consent that's all over the place. Some places are as young as 14, some are 16, some are 18. So it's a very kind of gray area. In Australia, it is 16 across the board. So rules are a little bit different. Now, however, if that child is like 15, 14, 13, now you're no longer in that gray area and you're just a pedophile, I guess. So yeah, let's talk about age of consent.
Yeah, and and again, that pedophile term's used to me quite loosely, because to me, I think if you go into any room, including this one, and you ask for a show of hands, how many people had sex before the age of 18? Show of hands. Yeah. So fuck y'all. And this is my point exactly. If you walk in almost any room, you'll find 90, to me, if not 80, 90, maybe 100% of everyone that's had some sort of sexual encounter before 18, if not full-on sex. And so let's be realistic about real. Like, let's be real. The age of consent is fucked because we're human beings, as far as and human beings being as such, once you start getting into your teens, your early teens, guess what? Your libido starts going all over the place. You start getting sexually curious, sexually active. Whether society or age of consent is there or not, it's happening. Okay. And so, and my point exactly, like, to me, these people with R. Kelly, they were there because they wanted to be. They were there for years and still by his side, even when he was going through this bullshit with this system. All right. And I think on our last discussion with R. Kelly, I think my thing was I'd rather my child not have sex till they can stand on their own and they could feed themselves and blah, blah, blah. That's not the reality of it. It's the reality of it is if they're going to. Personally, I'd rather they be with somebody that's got income that could help look after your child in case if they get pregnant, because that's a byproduct of sex, right? I mean, you hope they're safe and it never happens, but the reality is it does happen. And so would you rather them be banging some snot-nosed kid that can't look after them they can't put food on their own table, never mind look after a baby? Come on. Like, what are we doing?
True.
Right here, this NBA player, like this NBA player, for example, that we're just talking about, he's just barely, he's 20. Okay, so he's like 18, 19. I don't know how old the girl was, but the girl's parents are not talking. Neither's the girl. Okay, which tells me they're actually very fine with it, and they're embarrassed by the whole thing because the whole thing didn't get up because of them. It got up because of somebody's got a picture of them somewhere, something online or some shit. But neither here nor there. The thing is, there were two willing participants. And so why is this guy like getting chastised over it? Why is he about to lose his career over it? Like, seriously? Like, society? Because all of a sudden, to me, it's funny because I heard about this news the same day as I heard about this fucked up show, Milf Manor is called. And Milf Manor is basically like these... Milf Manor, look it up. It's basically like these 50, late 40, 50-year-old mamas with their early 20-year-old sons. And there's about 8 of them, eight moms, 8 sons. Okay, and they all go to this resort, and they're dating each other.
Oh,
okay? Could you imagine going on a date with your mom and dating your mom's friend's kid?
Milf,
like,
man,
seriously?
if anybody wants to watch it, that is the show.
No, it's fucking stupid. Okay, it's the dumbest show to me ever. I mean, one kid was, and don't get me wrong, I'm all about love and whatever, regardless of age, is my thing, but to me, what is morally wrong with this is not even morally wrong, but it's just, I can't imagine going, as a kid, my mom had a few friends I thought were hot, but I can imagine going on a date with my mom and saying, yeah, mom, I'm going to bang your friend. Like, seriously? Like, what?
That is
rude. Is it a reality TV show or?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. My thing is, this shit should not even be allowed on TV, but it is, because it just, to me, that just seems wrong. I can't envision. Like the one kid was just so grossed out he left, and I thought, good for you, like because I was grossed out by this thing. Like it just didn't feel right to me. Like seriously, Aaron, yeah, I know Chad's not with us anymore, but could you imagine going on a date with Chad's friends and talking to Chad about it and like just saying,
Hey, oh, I should say one thing. I think I can say this. I remember when I went to Chicago for the first time and I knocked on the door of the change room and I was mistaken. I think they're kidding in the locker room about being his girlfriend, but then they called me MILF and I had to find out what that was. And I'm sure for him, that was absolutely mortifying.
Oh
So I
yeah.
think
oh,
most people
1,000%.
in a change room. Yeah, his mom's, maybe standing there with whatever, but that's
No,
absolutely mortifying. So to think that that line
well,
gets lost.
but this is my whole thing with society, though. Okay, like I can't even believe someone thought of a show like this, and I can't believe it actually got a stamp of approval. I don't think it's still around though, but
TLC is trying to push
I
it. I'm wondering if it is still existing.
I could not believe what I was watching. It was like
Well,
it's
remember
just
that
like
we will all be entertained by what have you, right? To me, I think I've seen all sorts of different things that could be made into movies, my own life included one of them. But yeah, it's sometimes we have to kind of lead by example in these kinds of things. It goes back to some of the things we talked about before. Teachers having sex with their students that are in high school, no repercussions to them at all because they are, protected by a union. Yet as a
no,
mother,
that's not true. No, that's not
A
true.
lot of
There's
them
been a
are.
ton of repercussion. Yes,
yeah, some
some
okay,
of
but
them
I'm just like, oh, some
some of them have
things.
spent time in jail for it. Most of them have
Oh
been
yeah,
let go
for
right
sure.
away.
But I'm
Look
speaking
up
on behalf of like
Smart. Look at
I'm
Smart,
speaking,
for example.
yeah. But like the kids are kids, right? When we get wiser, we get better, older, whatever. You don't think my basketball
No.
coach didn't
See.
drag
I
me,
resent that. See, I resent that. No, you're right. Some of us never get wiser, but that's assuming kids are stupid, and that's so incorrect. Kids are, to me, some kids are very aware. I think I was a very aware and very knowledgeable kid. I think I was light years ahead of my time at that
Mhm.
time. I think I was probably smarter back then than I am now.
Mhm.
Right. And so I disagree. I think people don't give kids the credit that they're due. Yes, in the sense that, are they financially responsible? No, but more and more kids are more financially responsible earlier than what they used to be.
Well, I can
Yes,
tell you
there's
one thing, and it does happen. I got pregnant when I was very, very, very young. It does happen. It will happen. I mean, you can think it won't happen to you, but when it does happen, you have a couple choices that you have to make, and it is life altering. For sure, a life you bring into the world or whatever happens, it is forever, forever. And, I wouldn't wish having a kid going into grade 11. Hold on.
again,
I wouldn't really wish that on too many people because it is very difficult. It's difficult to
yeah,
grow up,
but the reality of
have
it is it
custody
does
and all
happen,
those
and
things.
so yeah, the reality
However,
is it does happen, and so as a smart society, as an advanced society, what really should be happening, in my opinion, is they should be making law. Is that we know it's happening, but you wear a condom or use protection or do jail time or something. Like, let's be smart about
however,
what's happening out there.
however,
And
what we do about our responsibilities is the other question. You are now faced with, so when you go out and have a good time and you don't think it's going to happen to you, and you spoke about this. Is it better to be planned or not planned? Well, there's lots of things that aren't planned that happen. So,
well, no,
got to be
there is, but the
very
reality of it is,
responsible about those things.
most minors that do have children are not prepared to raise a child
Oh, they're
financially,
never
which,
prepared.
No, for
If you're
sure.
a minor,
right?
you're never
Yeah,
prepared. That's an
yeah, and
accident.
so,
That's like
uh,
sexual boom, libido
yeah,
just working.
yeah, and never mind, some adults that have children are not ready, and so and unfortunately, there's some people discuss prior to in most cases before knocking boots, right? And so what happens is then you're in a situation where do you have it or don't you have it? And I think we talked about this before. And to me, as far as I'm concerned, it's a woman's body, it's a woman's rights. But as a man, the man should also have some rights or say in terms of whether they want to participate or not. And that's where it kind of becomes really goofy, right? Because if not, if you're not really planning together, and because if a woman decides not to have the child as a guy, you have no say, zero say. And I agree with that because it's her body, right? It's her life really, and there's been deaths due to birth. So I get a woman not wanting to have a child if she chose not to. But if she also chose to, I also get that because that is her body. Like, to me, no one should be able to tell somebody what can come out or within anyone's body. Like, that's up to you whether you want to grow a baby within you or not. Like, absolutely. Do you need a male donor to do that? Absolutely. Should that male donor be responsible if they choose not to be? I don't know. I don't believe so. I think that's their right as well.
That's true.
All about freedom of choice, right?
Well, it should be, but that's not how society sees it, right? Because literally, a lady can take a guy to court and sue him for, or go after him for child support, when really, that wasn't, he had no say or no dog in the fight, so to speak.
Do either you have, though? Like, I get it that things have changed through society. What once was like the age of consent maybe should be lowered, maybe should change, or maybe should be eliminated altogether. Not sure if it's going to harm anything one way or another, but when an adult, like for example, Carl Malone was clearly an adult when he had sex with a 14-year-old child.
Whatever it is, though, whatever it is, I think, to me, the bottom line is consent.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to, regardless of your age, is consent. And so if you're, and honestly, because I know, again, myself as a teen, I was dating people older, like people not adults. And so
you mean that were adults?
That were adults, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't, rarely would I date someone my own age or my own age group. Like, it was usually someone 18 or older. And so I don't think it's unusual, you know what I mean? And I didn't think it was a normal or natural, like walking with somebody older because they don't look older. You know what I mean?
Well,
like I was built like a,
and a whole other part of the world, we might not even know really how old we are. We just know that we
exactly. But again, I think, to be honest, for me, end of the day, it should be about consent and respect. And really, at the end of the day, because we're not talking about like murder. Like, yes, the worst thing that could come, the best and the worst thing that can come out of sex is having a child and not being prepared in that way. But again, that's where, as a society, we talk about it and we make sure people that are engaging are at least aware and smart about how they're doing, because they're doing it whether society recognizes it or allows it or not. It's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what about like school teachers that are kind of like, you go to school, these people are supposed to be, essentially, we send kids to school because we're gone to work, and these adults are supposed to be, their proxy parents.
See, we gotta be careful there. I think, honestly, because again, there's a fine line between like preying on people, and there's a fine line between just general attraction. And I think, general attraction is just kind of a, it's people, I really don't think people choose. Oh, they kind of choose, but people attract people. The heart wants what the heart wants, as they say. You know what I mean? And so it's again, like, different.
Mm-hmm.
It's different if somebody is feels coerced or forced. Okay,
right.
And I don't believe that's the case 99% of the time. Is no one's forced or coerced.
I certainly believe that, like,
especially. Again, not saying that it doesn't happen, but and that's where it's kind of a tough thing. Someone feels coerced, because I can't remember the one case, but I think it was Smart. She went to jail. She came out. They got married. She's actually married to this kid that she was having intercourse with when he was a minor.
This is true.
Okay, and so despite whatever society did and law camp and all that kind of stuff, they are still together.
They had like a special bond.
But you see, for every story like that, there are like 100 stories where like the teacher took advantage, right? Like, it was like, and then where do you draw the line?
No. I think that's the news media. I think that's a society in general that the teacher took advantage. I really.
This is where I think we have to be really, really good when we are working in institutional places, caring for other people. That you have to be observant, and if you, like, because you are the advocate for I'll call it patient because I work in hospital setting, you know, but whether it's your client, your student, whatever, you know, so you just hope that there's enough good people. Of course, there's bad people everywhere. There's people that make bad
No,
judgment, whatever, right? So we just hope that there's
no,
more
yeah, no,
good
and this is what.
influence around our children and that they are free to choose. They're not bribed by grades or any of this kind of crap. And that happens in a locker room for hockey, my understanding. It happens all around, right? So we just hope everyone can stand their own ground, right?
Yeah.
What they want
Well,
for the
not just stand their own ground, but also, you know, I think it's important for people to be honest and fair about the reality of life in terms of like, because not everything's just black and white, and not, you know, just you know, because personally, if I had a situation somewhere, and I'd basically ask my child, like, did you want it? Like, did you welcome it? Were you? And if they were, like, what's the issue? To me, there's no issue as long as there's two people that are wanting something, that agree to something. You know what I mean? And it's between the two consenting people, period,
So,
whether of age or not.
so do you feel that, like, you know, all those hockey players that, you know, report abuse later on down the line by their coach or their assistant coach, like, you know, like the
See, that's different. Yeah, see,
stuff like
that's
that?
different though. You're talking, yeah, that's completely different. You're talking like pedophile. Like, so see, this is what's wrong with society in general, is there a situation like that that are people are being abused and things are happening against their will, where they're, you know, they trust somebody of authority that abuses that authority. Pastors do it all the time. You always hear about the Catholic priests abusing boys and things like that. So this is where society needs to separate the two, or not separate, you know, they need to separate it, because the reality is kids have sex. Kids are sexual.
This is true.
Period.
You know,
Period.
one thing I feel though, when it comes to, say, hockey abuse, or I'm sure it happened in basketball, but I mean, a lot of NHL players have come out and discussed this, is that it's very taboo to be gay in hockey. Let's be honest. Like, I don't even know if I've ever heard of, like, you know, a first openly gay player in the NHL or even in the minors or anything like that. So even if the person, say, had a sexual attraction to their own coach, it would be taboo to come out and say, hey, yeah, I'm gay and I'm with my coach, kind of thing. So that's the thing that I'm saying, like, you know, if the teacher and the student, there's like that attraction and everything like that, who's to say that there's not an attraction there? But because it's taboo, these people feel uncomfortable and they're like, hey, you know what, I'm sexually abused. I'm not saying that none of them have been. I'm just saying that based on what you said, that's a potential that could really occur, right? Like, they're sexually attracted, but because the place where they're playing or they're conducting business is completely against that kind of relationship, gay relationship itself, not so much like, you know, player coach kind of thing.
Well, no, for sure. And again, there's some of that, but again, to me, I guess it all comes back to consent, right? Like, period.
Yeah.
And so if people are willing participants, what's the issue? I personally don't see any. It's when people aren't willing participants. You know, that being said, yeah, you know what? When I was of age, it wasn't like I was dating minors, because I had zero interest in minors at that point. But I was still after the older ladies, so or not,
You're an
like,
old
you know what I
soul.
mean?
You're always after older. That older meat. And you're like,
Well,
yeah, teach me something.
I'm more give or take 10 or 15 now, but
Fair enough. You're at that age, right? You go down, it could go up. It's okay.
perspective changes over the decades, eh? Or like the time doesn't
well,
matter so much, you know,
I'll put it
age
this way though,
doesn't.
I would never be dating someone my mom's age though. It's just not even happening.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not wired that way at all.
Yeah,
That's just weird.
or my kid's age. It's just
Mhm.
not happening.
Mhm.
You know, it's just
There's a little
I'm
bit
on
too much
Milf
there, yeah.
Island.
yeah, it's just that whatever little moral compass I have in me just won't allow me to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, well, one thing about talking about, you know, having sexual partners, etc. One thing that is very, very grand is sexually transmitted diseases. I know nobody wants to hear about it, and I can tell you that you
Nobody
definitely don't want
cares.
to have
Nobody
one.
cares though. Nobody cares that everything you get
No,
a
but
shot
no,
for
but
now.
I'm just
AIDS,
telling
get
you,
a
you
shot
will
for it.
care.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares
AIDS
about
No,
that
is
but
not
anymore.
just a
if
shot.
anyone wants to listen to anything I
Well,
want
do
to
you know?
say, you will care when all of a sudden your crotch feels like it's on fire. And for the
Nah,
rest of your life,
nah,
you are
nobody
living
cares.
with us. So
Nobody
even
cares.
well,
Free love is still out there, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the world's still booming.
Yes, it definitely is.
Nobody cares.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, people might care for a minute if they're across the fire, but they go get a shot, they're back at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the clap, gonorrhea, or herpes to a degree, those are all, I guess, quote unquote curable. Like, I mean, herpes, you can always get a flare up, I think it is, like, no matter what. But, you know,
Honestly, my
talking
intel
about,
tells me nobody cares about that stuff.
yeah, that's fair.
Like AIDS did not slow up. Like AIDS should have been the end of
Free love.
well, if nobody
Yeah.
cares, maybe taxpayers should care because that's how we pay for everything around here. So,
That's so true.
Well,
so
taxpayers
I'm just
should be
saying.
more worried about the war and spending on war,
Okay,
military
well,
war,
I'm
than
just saying that if we were talking on sexual things, and this is a platform of on a Sunday of what you could do for yourself,
Mhm.
love, have limited partners or one partner, have many partners if you wish, whatever. It's all about free choice, right?
Of
But
course.
if you do, if you are sexually active and you want to continue being sexually active and healthy, and you have no idea who your partners are with, and all those on and on. I mean, I'm not a fucking public health nurse on a Sunday. I'm just saying, good
Yes, I
idea.
can. You're
And
giving that
prevent
public
pregnancy,
service
all sorts
announcement.
of things. What we talked about, you know. I mean, me, I have my own way of birth control, of course. You know, I mean, I'm a woman that could now all of a sudden start a family all over again, and I would not want that.
Yeah, fair enough. Here's a
yeah. I
question.
mean, and end of the day, you want people to be safe and
Yeah, just
you
be
know,
safe. Yeah, just be safe.
you know. But again, you know, let's be honest. Like, there's Palestine and Israel safe right now, and there's
No,
that's
no,
yeah.
no.
And so the reality of it is no one's out looking to chop people's arms and kill people in the middle of the
No.
streets. We're
Just
talking
like it's all about
sex.
respect and love and keeping
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
protected and and keeping yourself wise, right? And don't let a good time turn into too much of a good time that it will affect the rest of
No,
your life, whatever that looks
but
like.
again, my whole point is there's people right now in the society getting lambasted for things I don't believe that they should be, or getting canceled for, yeah, I get it. There's the Weinsteins of the world and the Epsteins of the world, or whatever you want to call it, and just
You don't think like
um
R. Kelly and P. Diddy are like minor Epstein?
oh no, well, I mean, P. Diddy is to me a goof to begin with, anyways, and so that's a bad comparison. Like that, I wouldn't
Your
put
personal
anything
feelings about him aside.
as a human being, yeah, I'm not surprised that all these came out about him, because yeah, I thought he was a piece of work a long time ago, way before this. So yeah, and so
He
this
took
is kind of like,
advantage of a lot of things, let's be honest. Like I mean, Biggie Smalls has been dead for what, 30 years, and he was making money, like crazy money, just off of all the rips from Biggie Smalls. Like that's pretty impressive stuff. But it's kind of like a sleazy thing.
yeah, but some of the things that he's been accused of right now,
Mm,
to me, suits his personality. Put it that way. Like, he just
right,
seems like that type of goof that would bullshit like that.
right.
And R. Kelly, like, I mean, for example, it's no secret, like, from Aaliyah to, he's attracted to a young
He
whatever.
loves his young meat, man.
Yeah, yeah,
He's all
which I mean
about that.
is kind of, I don't even know if he has any children himself, but anyways, it's a weird thing. But again, I don't know where I'm having troubles or problems with is
Dropping
there's things
people.
on the news about him peeing on some of these people and all this other stuff, but
Oh yeah, but that was
to me,
he
no,
was
no, no,
being
but it's not like he
absolutely
had, to me, it's
reckless.
not like he had a gun to their head. Some people are into that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
this is
And
true.
so if it's some, again, if it's consenting people, who the fuck are we to say no, you can't? Like, seriously.
So, long story short, you're against the people that are predatory, like Mr. Cosby. Like, I mean, I'm against him a lot because I mean, he was using Rohypnol and all sorts of things to get women in bed, drugged and taking advantage of them, right? Whereas, like, I'm not really sure that was the case with R. Kelly. I think it was like more of a groupie kind of thing. The girls really just loved him. he's not going to check their ID when they come to his bedroom. Or you consent, get the heck out. You're hot. Let's do this. And then get out. And then let me pee on you. Very different. So, no, I feel that. I feel it. It's just such a weird topic because like things like even like Karl Malone happened back in the 80s. And I want to say his baby mama was 14 at the time. And that dude never even gave one red cent to the girl and to like the baby or anything like that. Like he's pretty heinous. So fast forwarding to Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey is 21. I think the girl's alleged age is 16. That's the age of consent in Australia. I mean, I can't say that I'm gonna hate on him, but I mean, if Josh Giddey was a black kid, I think he wouldn't be playing basketball, and this would have been like way more news than it is right now. I think that kid would have been on his way to jail, maybe. That's my honest opinion. Just
No, for sure.
You know, that color change, that one little switch. This is like, what? Yeah, you're going to jail, son. We'll figure out if you're innocent down the line. I do believe the fact that he is a white or Caucasian individual allows him the liberty to continue to play and you know, allow things to go where they are. I mean, you could compare it, I suppose, to Kobe Bryant when that girl from Denver was accusing him of like assault. But I obviously, going back to what you said, Alex, it's like that's not consent. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was found that, you know, she did kind of consent, or no, she did consent, and it was found that he was not guilty. So there's like, I don't know. There's this weird nuances. And then obviously it's a place of power. Like, I mean, Kobe was very, very rich. Now, Josh Giddey is just kind of starting his career. So maybe people don't want to really slay him to that degree. Like if he was maybe older and more established, maybe they would go after him hard. I don't know. It's really kind of weird. But now
Well,
it's
if you think
found
about
that
it, these celebrities, I'll call them celebrities, they're entertainers, professional athletes.
yeah.
They go into the biggest cities all across the world. Everyone's waiting to see them, paying lots of money to see them.
Throwing
There's women
themselves at them.
and whatever throwing themselves at them all the time. The temptation is there for whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure lots of times, I mean, I've been out and about with different people along my way, you know, go for dinner, go out for whatever. It's usually like a good time, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's these
also a
lines
reason why
that are
all these guys
crossed.
have
There's
lots
like
of baby mamas.
lines likely that are crossed, you know, all the time, no matter what. But you know, so being a good agent and having a good manager when you're a professional athlete or a musician or anyone of that kind of high profile, keeping yourself in line for what your job is, right? Your job is to entertain people on the ice, entertain people on the field. You're professional, right? And so what you do in your kind of own time does become public because you're a public figure. They're the biggest public figures that we talk about preachers. I can preach all day about having safe sex. But I get someone else that has like some sort of more influence, right? So, you know, whatever that influence is, there's lots of pressures on people, and I just feel like sometimes, you know, these people just zone into people's lives too much, you know. I mean, don't let anyone know what you're doing. Keep yourself out of, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
It's how you'll be better at performing at everything that you dreamed about, because you didn't get to that field or that ice arena without a whole bunch of sacrifice, you know. So as we're all there and you're wanting to, I don't know, it's just everyone's story, you know, and everyone has one.
Yeah.
So you know, just whatever that looks like, you know.
Yeah. So do we all feel that maybe we should just get rid of the age of consent at this point? Just to be like, whatever. Because everybody is literally an individual. And you know how they say women or girls develop faster than guys. And I think that's still true to a degree. Or
No, I don't think you
personally,
can get rid of
average.
consent.
personally, I
You
think
can't-
when it comes to that issue to a degree, only because, or society in general, to me, I think needs to be a little bit, I mean, there's a reason, for example, you have to be of a certain age before you could drive a car, because physically you need to be able to reach the pedals and steers, see over the dashboard and what have you.
Yeah.
Read and write and these
read and
sorts of
write,
things,
yeah,
your motor
yeah.
skills, yeah.
Um,
But if you talk to someone that lives on a farm, they say that they can drive at 8,
They do.
for
They
example,
literally do.
just saying,
Like,
but we have these rules and these ages of consent, that are like me, myself, I'm 46, so I just give myself permission to do whatever I want every day.
nice.
So at 46 years old, I've earned that right to do that. I've earned the right to be able to do that. I had rules and regulations around growing up in the Western world, right? Around what society says you should do, what you should not do, your report cards, on and on and on, right? So I don't know, freedom is great, but having rules around or having some sort of regulations or rules to keep us safe with wise people making them for society to run at peace and harmony and love.
Mhm.
And you'll see that in community living, the ones that are, striving and thriving, and the ones that are, whether it's city or First Nations or had a rights, or in your own house, right? In your own home, your own ministries. So yeah, so I really do think these public figures, whether you're a rock star, the people that I'm still listening to for 40 years, or or a writer or someone that's listening to us, right? We should, us at like this age frame, we don't, me myself, I don't know for sure on everything, but I think like day to day, person to person, almost, at sometimes where I've seen people where they can't make decisions for themselves, they can't even talk because they're not well enough, so somebody's had to, and they've been older and they've been young, so but who has the authority to sign or consent for people? I don't know. It seems like a big, huge mess, It does really seem like a big, huge mess. And so many things are in court. And so at 46, I'm just going to be happy to have freedom to love, share my wisdom.
There you go.
If someone wants to listen, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
And I don't know, be better every day, Everyone's got to just keep on being better every day. When we know better, we can do better. You think some of these people we're talking about don't think, I wish I didn't do that.
Oh, 100. Well, some of them are sexual deviants. So let's be honest. Some of them are like,
absolutely. Well, these people are people that I can't even put in my realm, okay? Because I don't understand it, right? But I'll just say it this way: I've been at a bar before, and I've got on the bar and danced, left.
Nice.
Did I have regrets about having a good time? No. Have I done things that So like,
So
we should all
Aaron, would I have seen you at Show Your Underwear night at Euphoria back in the day in Winnipeg, or no?
No. No.
No, you sure?
No. But you could have seen my daughter shaking her booty. She won some sort of contest there not that long ago. I don't know if that was in Winnipeg, but I don't know if that's
Really?
where it was.
That's funny. It's been a minute since I've been to that place, but I remember Show Us Your Underwear. Wow, that was something.
I don't know. Maybe it depends. It depends where it depends. Maybe I shouldn't say no so quickly, because maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I never. Maybe.
Well, no, but now I'd have to be somewhere where show me your underwear. No, it would depend who asked, I guess.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's all right. We got
What
like
about you?
2 minutes left, guys. 2 minutes left. So
What about you,
what's
Alex?
our thought on this in this age of consent? What's the wrap up? Ooh, we got crickets.
Well, again, to me, it's an interesting one in that way. I just personally feel that society needs to kind of,
but it's
have a
maybe
blanket.
North American society that's got to kind of pull the reins back, because maybe this is not happening. Like, we are victims of what we see here in North America, Canada, US, Mexico. Whereas like maybe in more developed countries like England and France and so forth, Australia and NASA are about the same age. Maybe it's not the same issue, you know? I really don't know.
Yeah.
Well, again, some things it's setting yourself up for failure, because to me, again, I think it just goes back to it being a consensual thing, right? Because which still, you know, which is still different than, say, pedophiles and, you know,
Okay,
all
so
these
like
other things.
the thing
Because
is, but the quick thing is, okay, so let's say I'll get your opinion on this one. Okay, so I'm here. Somebody grabs me, sexually assaults me. I put up my hand and say, this guy just did this to me.
Right.
What should happen
Oh, they
in
should
this
go to
country?
jail.
What
That
happens in
seems
this
more
country?
predatory, personally.
What happens?
Yeah.
What happens?
I would say he'd have to go to jail because, or he or she, because they're more of a predator. Like you said, they grabbed you, they sexually assaulted you, so that definitely they should be.
Yeah, but in this particular instance that I'm talking about, nothing happened. Nothing happened except for this happening. And so my question to my human rights violation that I have sitting somewhere, I mean, what's the date today? December 2nd, 2023, the old
It's
story,
December
okay?
3rd.
December 3rd, 2023. My question was, how many more people has this registered sex offender re-offended to how many other people? That's the $1 million question from my corporation this past year, because it's true.
Yeah, that's messed up.
In our own country of Canada. So,
yeah.
you know, I mean, Alex is definitely right. There's a difference between consent and not consent. When this pervert came up to me and grabbed me and wouldn't let me go.
That's
he wouldn't let me go.
Right. So then that's a predator at that point in time.
And
so
I fought him, and I fought him until I fought him right, you know, but I mean, I could fight for myself to get him the fuck away from me as much as I could, you know. But so for me, so many years later, I'm like, well, you know, so that's like to me that wouldn't surprise me if I heard that this guy had, you know, 15 girls in a basement somewhere, whatever, because they have something very, very wrong with them that's bigger than I can even imagine. But what I can say is that that the legal justice system does fail, because, you know, we have these kinds of people that are just continuing to do it. You know, how do some people get away with it and other people don't, you know?
Money.
Yeah,
I would always assume it's just a money thing. They get away, they have bigger pockets, they can explain those things away, do the little rope-a-dope and be like, yeah, I
don't know about
that
that,
person really did consent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but
how
I
do you
mean,
prove consent?
I watched the video back. I was kicking him. That didn't
Oh,
look
you were
like
kicking?
consent to me.
There was a video? Wow. And he's still
It was
not.
all under record. Yeah,
Oh,
I was kicking him. That looked like someone that was getting attacked to me, and it just happened to be me. So I mean, that's a long story
so
ago.
crazy.
So I mean, like, just saying.
And nothing was decided out of that? Like, it's still in court?
I told him, I'm not going. I don't have to go to court, right? Me myself, I don't have to go to court, right? But I mean,
there's video proof. Like, that's easy.
on and on. But anyways, that's an old story. But I'm just saying, like, so keep yourself, again, like, people, just keep yourself well, keep yourself protected, right? There's a good and bad people everywhere, but see the good in everything. You know, trust yourself, trust your own intuition, right? Be strong. Carry
Absolutely.
yourself with you if you need to.
These are all good tidbits. I'll actually put that in the description too. Cool. Well, guys, this is another Sunday of a successful real talk based on age of consent. Please like and subscribe to our channel. And yeah, we'll see you on the flip side. We'll see you next time.
On the flip side, awesome, guys. Happy
With the
Sunday.
marvelous
We'll see you guys.
Alex and the fabulous Aaron. And just me.
Awesome.
Hey guys, enjoy your Sunday.
Millionaire
We'll see you
Malcolm.
guys.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.